If one bus can hold 15 students, how many buses are needed for 328 students? So you have one bus that can hold 15 students. All right. So if one bus can hold 15 students, one bus holding 15 students. So what if you have 30 students? How many buses would you need for 30 students? Obviously, you will need 2 buses because one bus holding 15. So if you have 30 students, you need 2 buses. And another way that 2 was obtained is by dividing 15 into 30. Divide 30 by 15 to get 2. Okay. So you have 15 students, you need 1 bus. So if you have 30 students, you will need 2 buses. What if you have 45 students? How many buses would you need for 45 students? Obviously, 15 into 45 was 3 times. So you need 3 buses. 15, 15, and 15. 15 per bus. So therefore, to get the answer for how many buses, you have to divide 15 into any of the numbers that are coming up. Let's do one more example. What if you have 60 students? How many buses would you need for 60 students? So you have to divide 15 into 60. You need 4 buses. Okay, so these are easy division. So therefore now, for 328 students, you'd have to divide 328 by 15. Yes, you'd have to write down, please take out your pencils, your paper. 15 is the divisor and 328 is the dividend. And we're dividing 15 to 328 to get the quotient, to get the answer. So 15 into 3, you can't. 15 into 30 goes 2 times. 15 into 32 goes 2 times because 2 times 15 is 30. And then we subtract. Zero from 2 is 2. 3 minus 3 is 0. So 15 into 32 goes 2 times. 2 by 15 is 30. Then you subtract, we get 2. Then we bring down the 8. And 15 into 28 goes once. 1 by 15 is 15. And then we subtract 15 from 28. 8 minus 5 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 15 into 328 goes 21 times, remainder 13. Now these are 13 students extra. So you need 21 buses, at least 21 buses. But then 21 buses exactly will hold 315 students. And then we have 13 students extra. That is the remainder. That's 13 students extra. So those 13 extra students now, where are we going to put them? On a bus, obviously. So we would need a bus, an extra bus. For those 13 extra students. So therefore now you need 22 buses in all. All right, so for 320 students, you need 21 plus 1 extra to put the 13 students, you will need 22 buses, okay? So for 328 students, 21 plus 1, that will be equal to 22 buses are needed. $21 for the 315, sorry, because 21 by 15 is 315. And then now the extra 13, we have a bus for them. So you need 22 buses. So to get the answer, you divide, and then the quotient will give you the first number of buses, and the extra now we have to add an extra bus to put the remainder. The remainder must be fitted on another bus. So you need 22 buses, not 21, 22 buses. So for example, how many buses you would need for, let's say, 65 students? Let's say you have 65 students. How many buses you would need? Now 4 buses is needed for 60 students, 15 per bus. What about the 5 students? Where are you going to put them? Okay, so you need a fifth bus. This fifth bus now will have some space on it, but it's a bus nonetheless. You would need 5 buses for 65 students. So you have the same concept going on there. Let's say 1 bus is 15 students. What if you have 16 students? What if it's 16 students you have? Where are you going to put the extra student? You need a whole bus for that extra student, even though you have all that space remaining. You have 14 spaces left, but it's a bus nonetheless, because the rule is that you cannot put too much. You can't put 16 students on one bus. The bus has space for only 16 students. So you need 2 buses for 16 students. So it's the same concept. The remainder goes, you know, on an extra bus. So for 328, you need 21 plus 1, 22 buses.